And welcome back once again to Good Morning Kenya. We continue with this program. And as we promised you, the program is packed with interesting topics, fascinating guests. And as at now, we are looking at transformative leaders. And today, we're going to explore a topic based on chaplaincy and mentorship. We're looking at exploring the influence of chaplaincy and mentorship in our schools across the country. And to help me with this conversation in studio, I'm joined by Captain Rogers Munene, who Captain Rogers is an academic discipline counselor, leadership capacity building trainer, and a character or moral mentors to teens and youth. He is also a published author. He has authored 2 books, one of which is My Grade, My Project, and the other one is Youth and Love Life. Karibu sana to the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Yes. To start off, could you tell us about yourself and your journey in ICT and how you found yourself in chaplaincy and mentorship in high schools?
Thank you. Rogers Munene is my name.
Yes.
I come from Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
After going through primary school and high school, I was trained in information technology and started off as a computer studies teacher. Not that my interaction mostly was with youth and teenagers, I learned there is a gap. I felt a need of sharing my story, now that I'd also overcome a myriad of challenges, both domestically and socially. Mm-hmm. And as I interacted with the young people in classes that I handled, I learned there is quite some gap between our youth and teenagers and our children and their parents. I felt a need of sharing a bit of my story to them, that they may overcome a myriad of challenges they are facing, and also fine-tune issues, morality about them. Apparently, the moral fabric is torn. We are having professionals who don't have morals in them. And so I felt a need of coming in, and that's where the youth mentor was born.
Yes. So you talk about your personal challenges. Could there be one or two challenges that stood out that made you make this decision of, you know what, I want to go this direction, even though I'm trained in ICT? What are those experiences, specific experiences that made you decide to venture into chaplaincy and mentorship?
Yeah, sure. One of it is family dysfunctionality. The other one being issues, being a teenager. At times we could easily be forced to compromise and be negatively influenced by our peers. And the other one was ridicule. I remember when I was going through primary school and high school, I had a nickname. My nickname was Blackout. I was Rebo, the darkest boy in class. And anytime we went acting, was made, I'm the one who would be picked to act as the devil in the school place.
Because you're black.
Yeah. People are not black, we are dark. Fear of flame, not of flame. Anyway. So I felt our young people and our children are suffering from unspoken emotional issues. Issues they cannot share with their parents in fear of misjudgment, and they cannot share with their teachers in fear of victimization. Wait until somebody else comes in and they find somebody to share with. I was able to overcome my challenges when I got a mentor. When I got somebody that I could share with, that's what I could not share with my parents, with anyone I could not share with my teachers. And those were issues that were affecting my academic well-being. They were affecting my morals. They were affecting my discipline. When I got a mentor, I was able to share and was encouraged. I was given direction and all that.
Yes. You have a training in theology, right?
Yes.
How does that help you? How did that help you learn this role? And what does it mean to be a captain in this context? Because you call yourself Captain Rogers. How does that fit in?
I've been very eloquent and articulate, very bold in public speaking like from when I was young and growing. In nursery school, I served as a porridge prefect, growing forth and forth. And so when I started talking to students in assemblies when I was a student, or rather when other people, I've much later realized one of the ways of fine-tuning my talent into a career is taking a course that aligns with that what I'm called to do. And that's when I went to the Church Army of Africa. Church Army of Africa is a coastal college of St. Paul's University, found in Jogoro in Nairobi, and was trained in theology and specialized in school chaplaincy. I was commissioned by the Church Army of Africa to serve as a captain. And so I've been doing a lot of freelancing ministry, working very closely with our schools, working very closely with the church, but with an ideal of reaching out to our youth and teenagers, that I may understand how best to handle them, not as an ICT, but as the origin, as somebody who's trained in counseling and such.
Now, we are talking about mentorship and chaplaincy. What is the importance of both, especially in our high schools?
What was supposed to replace corporal punishment? Remember, during my time, there was corporal punishment.
Yes.
The six of the best.
Zilikuwa zinaitwa kasita.
Ulikuwa unachapwa. Ukilia unachapwa unyamaze. Ukinyamaza unachapwa ulie kisha unasamehewa.
Yes.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
What was supposed to replace corporal punishment was effective guidance and counseling and orthodox spirituality and mentorship. However, unfortunate, I'm not a policy maker in the midst of education. I'm only a support system as a consultant. Unfortunately, when we did away with corporal punishment, we did not inject effective guidance and counseling in our schools. And as such, the guidance and counseling teacher is also overloaded with the engagements or assignments entrusted to them by the employer, the Teacher Service Commission, by the institutions. Some of them are serving as subject teachers, class teachers for masters and mistresses and such. And much of their work would be in matters, syllabus coverage, and production of results. And you can be sure, because they'll also be served as teachers on duty during the week, they'll have the strokes, they'll have the cane, they'll have to push students a little.
Yes.
And so these students will jeopardize their position as counseling teachers. And that's why we bring in chaplaincy and counseling. And I feel the future of our schools is establishment of effective guidance and counseling programs and chaplaincy, where we have somebody placed in a school who does not necessarily go to classes to teach, and if they do, they only go to teach non-examinable subjects like life skills, but their major job description is taking care of morals, discipline, chaplaincy, that's spiritual nourishment, and counseling of the students. That way, students will be able to speak out. That's what affects the academic performance. Let me say this.
Yes.
Quite a number of our schools are now becoming rehabilitation centers. The only place where students can find life, the only place where students can find somebody to correct them ought to be in a school. So many of us parents, and I put myself there because I'm a parent,
Yes.
are making our schools dumping sites. We dump our children and expect the result after all is said and done. Now, students are breaking for about 2 months December holiday. Where will they be at? Parents, we are getting too busy, waking up early in the morning, checking late, and you're dumping on students to gadgets. You're dumping on students to exposures to that what is destructive. By the time students open in first term, you can be sure they will be so damaged, both emotionally and such. Who do they go and speak out to? On this imagination that immediately they open, we have a syllabus to cover, we have examination to take care of, and remember, the promotion of a teacher is tied into the improvement index of the students they're taking care of. Will the teacher be able to handle morals, or will they first give attention to syllabus coverage and production of results? And that's where chaplaincy and mentorship comes from. I'm happy that God has raised us and quite a number of my colleagues all over this country that we are visiting schools, courtesy of the Ministry of Education, the Kenya Secondary School Health Association, and the CAPSHA, that we may reach out to our students and complement the work that the teachers are doing in offering psychosocial support programs to our students.
So you are a support system, as you have said.
You're right.
Now, how do you work with Ministry of Education? Do you apply to go to schools, or what happens for you to, let's say for instance, you are going to a school in Muranga? What happens? Do you identify a school, or you are called by the ministry?
Well, one, it's approval. That there are people who have been identified and given the approval to work very closely with schools. Remember, not everyone can have doors open for them to get to schools and engage students. So it starts with approval. The other one is networking, that we have got quite a number of school administrators and the directors in the Ministry of Education in different capacities who keeps on recommending us to different schools that we may be able to go and come some challenges. And others are direct invitations by school administrators, depending with the challenges that they are having. And the other one is recommendation by the churches. Some churches have sponsored some schools. And so the spiritual authorities in the churches will at times give us platforms to go and engage with schools. But now with a large network, you can be sure we are not even enough, because there is a lot that needs to be done. Yesterday I was in a school, last evening I was in a school, this after these amended to a school. So you can be sure there is a lot that needs to be done,
Yes.
and doors are open for us.
Now, you address emerging issues affecting growth and development of the youth and teens. What are the most pressing challenges in your own view that you have encountered in your work, and how do you help young individuals navigate through these things?
Thank you for that question.
Yes.
One, you can be sure that education is very selfish. One cannot mix up education with other issues and sail through.
Yes.
Those who are watching me and our parents can confirm this. We are getting worried that our boys and girls are performing very well at KCPE, and they're getting places in very good secondary schools. By the time they're getting themselves to Form 2s, they're really dropping. And the question is, what exactly is happening? Our schools becoming reducing agents. That boy who could perform very well, that girl who could perform very well at KCPE, or in primary school cannot perform as well in high school. Why is it that the best boy in KCP nationally, or the best girl in KCP nationally, is never the best boy or girl in KCC 4 years down the line? And I can tell you, it's because of these emerging issues affecting students. Let me give you a case study. I recently visited a school, and the very good principal gave me an office after a 1 and a hour talk, hours talk, and requested the boys to come greeting me, that we may have an informal talk.
Yes.
The first boy came, hey, gota, niaje, akaniita bazoo. Nilikuwa nafikiria bazoo ni salamu, nikamwambia bazoo sana. You know this language that students are using.
You said bazoo sana?
Yes, yes. I thought greetings, you know, this language that they're using, and you have to get to that line.
Yeah.
And this boy told me of how he admires me. He told me since he saw me, he really loved me, he admired me. Only for me to learn that this boy who is in Form 3 and 408 marks at KCP is a gay and wants a sexual relationship with me, wants an intimate relationship with me.
Yes.
You can be sure that student cannot give attention to matters academics until that is taken care of.
We are going to come back to that, but we are going to take a very short break. We'll be back after this. Karibu tena sana. Welcome back. We are exploring the influence of chaplaincy and mentorship in our schools nationwide. And we are having this conversation with Captain Rogers Monene. And before we went on a break, Rogers, we were addressing, talking about emerging issues. Maybe you can continue on the point.
Yes. As I said earlier,
yes,
education is very selfish.
Yes.
We can't mix education with something else and succeed. You can be sure our boys and girls in schools are overexposed.
Yes.
And simply because possibly parenting trends, parents are no longer hands-on. I was brought up at a time there were rules and regulations in the house. I was brought up at a time there was communal parenting. Parenting was communal. Every other person could have punished you for whatever reason. And eventually would have shared with your parents, and your parents would have punished you, and also shared with your teachers.
Yes.
And as such, we were able to overcome a myriad of emerging issues that could hit us at that time. Currently, we have left our children to the exposure of gadgets, internet, television set, music, irresponsibility in matters, relationships, and we are not able to curb them or other control. So one of the emerging issues, as I said earlier, is LGBTQ, that is apparently eating our schools so bad. And that's the pain of every other school administrator and every other teacher. And you can be sure it's affecting students so much. I'm thinking about this boy who approached me for an intimate relationship, this gay boy who is in Form 3 International School. Presume that boy does well at KCC and proceeds to take medicine or law or aviation or whatever he gets to professionally. What kind of a professional will that end up being? So LGBTQ is an issue that is badly hitting our schools. The moral fabric is so torn, and you're losing our children so much into that. Now, the role of a teacher is, because of the pressure given to them by the employer, is to see to it that the students perform well academically, to whom that those students who are having such issues run to. The other one is family dysfunctionality, the family trends. Apparently, relationships are badly hitting us.
Yes.
I've had cases where a child who is in a school has a mother, and the mother has a husband who is not the biological father to this boy.
Yes.
But the father, the biological father, is there, having been married. And so this child has a mother, has the very father, has the stepfather, and has a stepmother. You get that kind of an arrangement. And the biological father is still hands-on because of co-parenting. And you can be sure anytime this student is in school, they are broken. They even don't know where to run to, who to run to, and all that. Leave that. Think of this kind of an arrangement where the boy is home, and they're going to experience this in the next 2 months. They will be home. The man who pays electricity is not the one who pays the house bill.
Yes.
Is not the one who does shopping. Yes. And the mother has exposed this child to quite a number of men. Yes. Until he's so confused, doesn't know who is the father and all that. And then the boy is submitted, the girl is submitted to school to the hands of a teacher who expects that boy or girl to perform well academically. So family, the functionality is there, and the parenting trends that are there. The other one is addiction to music and technology. Yes. You'll be shocked to realize that our boys and girls in schools have crammed music more than the periodical table. Yes. They have crammed soap operas more than that what is constructive in matters of academic well-being, more than what is constructive in their spiritual well-being, more than what is of value addition to their growth and development. And you can be sure when they go back to school, they are so broken. Their mind is clogged with so many issues that they're not able to give a balance between and the academic well-being.
How then does your chaplaincy and mentorship programs break this cycle?
Well, when we visit schools, we would give very informal talks to students about academic discipline. I've done a book to that effect about academic discipline, where we have been able to identify about 20 academic disciplines that affect students and solution to each of them. And so when you go to schools, we are given platforms, at times without even disrupting the school learning programs. Some of them could be early in the morning, some of them could be over break time or lunch time, others could be the evening after classes, others could be the evenings after supper time to them that are in boarding schools, under the supervision of the school administrators because of quality assurance. And we informally interact with students. We do the collective talks on different issues affecting students, and the other one are the one-on-one consultations where students now voluntarily approach us to confide in us that's what they are going through. And after all is said and done, we are able to do an evaluation. Are they developing in matters their morality, in matters their character and well-being, and also in their academic results? You go to my book, you get to see quite a number of testimonies sent to me by students who tell me I went to their school, they're performing very dismally, we engage. I never took them through the curriculum subjects. I never took them through mathematics, languages, sciences, humanities, and all what they're taken to by the teacher. What did I do? I complimented the teacher by helping the students debrief the clutter and get rid of any issue that is limiting them from concentrating with matters academics. And so chaplaincy and mentorship comes in handy that when students go to class, they are mentally well taken care of. Simply, we take care of their mental health and mental well-being. Yes.
As you had said earlier, students are more likely to share their problems with their peers. And in most cases, the advice they get is not always the best. So how do you compare a student sharing his problems or her problems with her peers? How does that affect their own well-being?
No, when you talk about mentorship, we speak about mentorship being God's pattern of accomplishment. Mentorship speeds up accomplishment. Is a way of making a man out of a boy, a lady out of a girl, a boss out of a servant. Mentorship is holding the hand of somebody and growing with them. Now, when when peers share with each other, you can be sure the person they are sharing with is of their age bracket and may not be exposed. Actually, when I'm teaching about mentorship, I advise us to subscribe and give ourselves to mentors who are older than us, who are more established than us in all aspects. When you go to the Bible, you realize Apostle Paul, when Apostle Paul is mentoring Timothy and Titus, he is doing that with all the authority, because one, he is older than them, more established than them. In matters life, he has been more exposed than Timothy and Titus. So when we give ourselves to people of our age, they can only influence us. Look at me, my host. Wave at me. Wave at me.
Yes.
Lab your chin. Is that your chin?
I don't know.
Why have you been fast to lab your hair?
Because
that's what I've done.
Yes.
You can be sure when you give ourselves to our peers, they are likely to influence us to comfortably do what is wrong at the expense of what is right. Yes. Wait until we give ourselves to people who are older than us, more established than us. There is that issue of respect. There is that issue of submission. There is that issue of the people we are looking up to are people whose our future is their past.
Yes.
Where we headed to is where they're coming from.
Yes.
And so we are able to submit and give ourselves to them. And so in as much as we also train peer counselors in school, we empower some few students of goodwill with the skills that will help them counterattack a myriad of challenges that their peers are going through. You can be sure it's not as effective as when we have empowered and helped students give or rather share with people who are more established than them. Name them teachers, parents, mentors, spiritual authorities, and any other person who can be trusted with students. And that's why we are coming in.
In as far as chaplaincy and mentorship is concerned, we are looking at a school setting where there are teachers, non-teaching staff, and the student. Now, do you only focus on students specifically, or do you engage the teaching staff?
It's all rounded. I am a member of the National Association of Christian Chaplains, that a body that brings together all chaplains that are serving in different institutions and entities, including the discipline forces, hospital chaplaincy, school chaplaincy, college chaplaincy, and such. That we may give attention not only to that student in a school setup, but to every other person, including the school administrator in the name of the principal or the head teacher. You can be sure they're human beings who are under a lot of pressure. Who prays with them? To whom do they share with? Who visit their office to have a cross-job meeting just to speak out the issues that are affecting them right from home? You can be sure, because they're human beings, even us ourselves, as we go reaching out to these students, we have our own battles and issues. And at times we go venting to students. More than once we have diverted. Students tell me that a certain teacher got to class and took the first 30 minutes venting to them. Trying to declutter and believe and speak out what's disturbing them in the class setup. And so chaplaincy is not just about the student. Every other person needs this. Every other person needs counseling. And counseling is not because somebody has a problem, but it's also because we need to be helped to gather ourselves up, debrief, and get the social support that we need to progress on. Because we are all emotional beings, and you're broken in one or another. And we are likely to go and vent to the wrong persons, and eventually cause more damage than it should have been. So we give attention to every other person.
Let's talk about social media and your work. Chaplaincy and mentorship. How have you utilized the digital space to enhance your efforts in mentoring and chaplaincy?
One of the home of all evils is the social media. But by the grace of God, we have been able to establish pulpits in the social media and the platforms where people can be able to access us, get to know what we are doing, that they may engage us. We use it for dispatching information. We use it for networking. We use it to create awareness that there is a lot of good things that is happening, even at such a time that the moral fabric is torn, even at such a time that you have a perverted generation. And so social media has helped us so much. However, unfortunate is that the same platform can also be very destructive because of, like now we are talking about the data protection. We need to be very careful even as we give information about where we are and what we are doing and giving faces of our delegates because of such kind of things. Again, to our clients, the teenagers and the youth, they may not be very constructive in usage of social media. So they go there, they get overexposed. The overexposure that they get out of that is what now they bring to us or they bring to school, and that affects the academic performance, and we are called in to try to curb and all that. Like now we are sitting on a time bomb, schools have closed, and I know one of the worries of the teachers is where will their children go to? But a good number of schools and teachers are also using the same platform to dispatch information and study materials and examinations, and a lot of academic work will be happening using the same platform. So there are pros and cons, and we are useful. We are there to help fine-tune and help people use those platforms well.
With students, we talk about character and morals. How specifically does chaplaincy help in developing their morals and character in education setting?
Well, education setup is ought to help us get to professionalism.
Yes.
If someone does very well academically, gets themselves the very good marks they can get at KCP, proceed to high school and get themselves the way that we need.
Yes.
And eventually they go to the university and give us first-class honors and become the very best professional, but they don't have morals and characters. What will we get out of that? So we come into advocating to this, and I say this, we rather have students who are performing poorly, but they have morals, they have discipline, they have character in them, more than having students who are performing very well, yet they don't have morals, discipline, and characters. We know, you and I know, so many people are well educated in this country, but they can't be trusted with anything. They can't get themselves jobs and sustain them. They can't be given any kind of money and sustain them. But you also know very well there are people who are not educated, but they have discipline, they have morals, they have character in them. They have God in them. And whatever they set themselves to do attracts a lot of fortune their way. And they become millionaires, they become employers of so many people and such. And you can be sure that is one of the things that is affecting even leadership in this country. We have people who are morally drained, being entrusted with positions of leadership. What's happening? Eventually we end up losing it. So this is our way of raising another generation of people who will be trustworthy, who can be trusted with even the smallest of assignments. I don't know whether you know, currently we're even lacking people that you can entrust with a shop. You open a shop and you want to employ somebody who can run the shop for you, you get no one who can be trusted with that shop. Even house girls. I remember one time I had a house girl in my house who was able to save the little that we could give her, and she went to she ended up going to a teacher's training college. She's now a primary school teacher employed by the Teacher Service Commission, is doing very well. I mean, the little that she could get, she could not just go misusing it. She was well brought up. She knew how to take care of this. And eventually they ended up becoming of value addition to their life. And so that's why we are coming in to help people, that even as we pursue our interest in matters academic well-being, we also need to have people who have discipline, morals, and characters. I know of a boy who got himself an A- in his school, went to the University of Nairobi School of Medicine.
Yes.
Presumably, he joined at the age of 18.
Yes.
Presumably, by the time he was 25 to 26 years, he was supposed to have become a medic. By the time he was in his second year, first semester, the guy was arrested with two of his other classmates. Wakuwa na bangi ya 10 million Kenya shillings. Police house. To the courts, 10 years imprisonment. Today he sells mirror. Wow. He should have become a doctor, he's now a patient. What would be the need of getting that good grade, yet they don't have morals and discipline characters in them? And so that's why you're coming in to try to restore a new software in the systems of our children, that they may end up adding value in that what they are doing in life.
You're not only a chaplain and a mentor, you're also a published author. One of your books is called My Grade, My Project. And so can you give a glimpse of what this book entails?
Yes. My Grade, My Project book is about academic discipline. I wrote that book during the COVID-19 pandemic season, the year 2020, when we had a lot of time to ourselves. And I reflected into what is it that makes us fail in this life. You can be sure it's the small things, not the big things. We are told, those of us who are in business, we are told, take care of the coins, then those who take care of themselves. What does that tell you? The small things.
Yes.
Those of us who are in marriage, we are told, the small things are the ones who can either make or break that relationship. Those of us who are in education, you can be sure what makes us fail is vidogo. So in that book, I've been able to identify 20 academic indisciplines and a solution to each of them. Laziness, destructive peer pressure, time mismanagement, addiction to gadgets, technology and modernity, and such kind of things. 20 academic discipline and solution to each of them that I may try to help students give attention to that what is of value addition and do quality education more than quality education that will make them not do well. I've also helped students learn and know how to maintain and develop a good desire for education.
Yes.
Handling and tackling examinations and such. So My Grade, My Project is a book purely on academic discipline. Let me give a testimony sent to me by students. At the back of this book, I put an album an album showcasing the very many schools that we have been to, interacting with students. And after the album, I've done some testimonies. Listen to these. A student writes me a message after KCSE results of the year 2021 are released and tells me, my name is so-and-so, I was in this school. A week before KCSE, I was listed to be a low performer because I had a D+. A week before KCSE. Then she tells me, I thank you for you came and encouraged me and told us not to lose hope. In KCSE, I managed to get a B-. And I'm being asked, what magic did I do with that student? Not any magic. Give them encouragement, help them get rid of any emotional drainage they were going through, and focus in matters academics. Another one tells me I went to their school, they were getting D's, we engaged in matters academic discipline, and they moved from a grade D to a grade C, which ended up a strong C+ in KCSE. I remember this boy. I went to school and he approached me and told me that he's so talented in music. He actually told me he has composed 26 songs. And the song was Miracle Tempa na Kuora Ko Yo, Yo, Yo. You know these songs that these guys are doing that are more or less insults and something like that. And they're giving themselves so much to that. I told him, my brother, let's first give attention to academic discipline. The boy moves from grade D to grade C, KCSE gets a C+. And he tells me, as I'm writing to you, I'm partaking a degree in music education at the University of East African Baraton in Adi County. Now I call him and I'm asking him, where are the 26 songs? That was time mismanagement. Yes. Amanda Kusoma Music Education is able to give attention to that, what helps him even add an extra coin even before he has graduated. Yes. And so this book is purely on academic discipline.
There's another book you've written, Youth and Love Life. Now I want to know, how can youth use this book to navigate through interpersonal relationships?
One of the biggest time bombs of all time are matters and relationships. The people that you bring to your circles can only either make or break you. Yes. Power of influence.
Yes.
We are product of our friends. Yes. We are an average of our 5-6 friends. If your friends are 5 idiots, you're going to be the 6th idiot. You can be sure. And so the book Youth and Love Life does not only speak about the relationship, the boy-girl relationship, but it's all over whole relationship, starting with God, to our parents, to our elders, to our peers, and the climax of it is a boy-girl relationship. And in that book, I'm telling young people and every other person, the very first indicator of love is respect. Whoever does not respect you does not love you. And so it's a book to help us know how to develop and relationships that are of value, addition, that are making us stronger, finer, and better, more than relationships that are destructive and will make us end up regretting after all is in the done.
People or students with access to mentors are more likely to succeed. How true is that statement? And could you elaborate on how mentorship programs contribute to academic achievement and career readiness?
You said them that have mentors are likely to perform and do much better than them that don't have mentors. Mentorship, as I said earlier, is first tense establishment, is a way of making a man out of a boy. When you give yourself to a mentor, that mentor holds your hand and shares their story with you. I'm just about to release my that book entitled Probation Before Promotion, Every Glory Has a Story. When you give yourself to me as a mentor, and I'm more established than you can be sure, you realize you've always been admiring me. Somebody may look at you, and think possibly you just come from up there to be where you are. Yes. But there is a lot more that you puzzle to end up becoming where you are. Young people of this generation, so many people want to get to places of establishment, but they don't want to trust the process of growth. Yes. And so that's why mentorship comes in to help people get to establishment. You brought matters academic well-being there. When a student gives themselves to a professional mentor, possibly their desire is to become a doctor or rather a medic, and so they have a medic mentor. What will happen? The medic will tell them the do's and don'ts, and that's what is so hidden, far from the title, that will help somebody end up getting there. So many people have been wasted in professions. We go to colleges and universities to take courses that you're not even called to do in the first place. Why? Because we lacked the career mentorship. Because we lacked some people to open up our eyes into that what it was. I have a story of a young man who wanted to become a medic. Wait until they're taken to the morgue. They're taken to the morgue to, it's called body anatomy or something like that, medically. And he runs away, he gets mad. He didn't see that coming. I mean,
after seeing a
Yes.
Kadeva.
We also had the cases of young people quitting college. Then goes to the parents and tells the parents, that was your course. Let me now go take my course.
Wow.
And you can be sure those are very few. Most of them end up getting wasted. Personally, in my case, I was trained in information technology. Then I felt I'm not designed or developed for computers. I'm supposed to be reaching out to human beings. And changed course from ICT, was an ICT tutor and teacher, left that and embarked on what I'm doing. And I find a lot of passion in it. I find a lot of joy in it because I'm so called into it. It's in my branch stream, it's my DNA ministry, it's my heartbeat ministry.
Yes. So how can parents and the community at large help in strengthening the chaplaincy and the mentorship programs in schools?
This is a charge. A charge to the boards of management. We start from there because schools are managed by boards of management. And also the sponsoring churches to consider engaging full-time chaplains in our schools. And I call upon parents to support the same programs, that they may have somebody to speak out to. To those schools that don't have chaplains, I know there are pastors who offer pastoral programs and such. I would encourage parents to go and give their daughters and sons to some teachers of goodwill or somebody of goodwill who has access to the school, that they are able to reach out to students, that students may speak out to that what they cannot share with their teachers or even them parents in fear of victimization.
Now, looking forward, what are your goals and aspirations in your future work with students, especially in chaplaincy and mentorship in our schools?
I'm pursuing school chaplaincy. I'm pursuing, I'm a freelancer myself. I work with all the schools as doors open. After this, I have an engagement in a school in Nairobi. Later in the evening, I'll be traveling to a school in Embu. I'm freelancing. But in the coming days, I look forward to getting myself to either high school or even college or university chaplaincy, even as we pursue further training in the same.
Now, how can people access your guidance and resources?
Well, one of the easiest ways of accessing me is through the social media, Facebook. Go to Facebook, search for Rogers Monene, R-O-G-E-R-S Monene, and you get me. Go to information, you get all my other contacts, including my cell phone number, and you can be able to reach me. I may not be able to respond to phone calls anytime, but I can be able to respond to a message, to a chat, or something like that through my messenger or even direct call. But all my contacts can be found very easily through searching Rogers Monene. It's my Facebook page.
As we wind up, I'd love for you to give a message to the young people in Kenya, especially those that are watching you right now. What is your message?
One message that I would want to give my younger brothers and sisters is that the difference between there where you are and where they are, the difference between here and there is letter T, time. They need to be very patient. Very patient. And persistently patient.
Yes.
Not haphazard and mixed up in so many things.
Yes.
Number two, they need to give themselves to God.
Yes.
In godliness, there is discipline, there is character, there is morals. And number three, we were trained to study hard that we may get jobs. It's that time you start changing that mentality in the lives of our young people.
Yes.
Study and become a job creator.
Yes.
And we can venture into so many things. Don't be idle. Just go engage yourself to so many other avenues out there. As long as they are orthodox, they are legally acceptable, that helps them add value into their lives.
Yes.
Lastly, but of equal magnitude, they need to give themselves to mentors, people who hold their hands and help them get to grow. Before they admire to get where they are, they need to sit down to listen to their story. Trust the process and eventually get there. And also submit to our parents. If you don't respect your elders, you will not be respected when your time comes. If you don't submit to them that in authority, you don't get to places of authority.
Yes, tumefurahia sana Bwana Rogers for coming to our studios and sharing more on what you're doing as a chaplain and mentor. Continue on the same path. We'll be happy to host you again and talk about the success stories from your work.
Thank you.
We have been talking to one Captain Rogers Monene, who is an academic excellence counselor and a mentor to young students and youth. This has been very enlightening, and from me, it's a wrap for now. Vivian is joining you for the next session. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly. My name is Mike Megwe.